and the majority of that history has been dominated by the man in the middle there, Kelly Slater, who is chasing down his first CT victory in a couple of years up against Filipe Toledo, one of the most exciting surfers on the planet, and Matt Banting, the young Aussie who missed an opportunity to show us what he can do out here at J-Bay last year with an injury. He's going to have to take off right under the lip here, but he does get himself into this ride and drifts that tail to kick things off, flowing down the line. Has plenty of speed, didn't get amongst that decent swell prior to the event kicking off, but making up for it now with some nice flow. And this wave is lining up very well through the inside as Kelly puts some pressure on that back foot and drives through a nice carve and just fails to stick a tricky landing on the inside there.
Completed maneuvers in there. That's going to settle the nerves right there. Just a nice clean start for Kelly.
Let's see what Filipe can do. A smaller ride, but you know that he can turn these medium-sized rides into big scores, but that wind is very strong, not too conducive for the aerials.
Here's that nice pace you want when you're out here at J-Bay on a smaller day. You can see that thing actually allowed him to change directions and take his time. Now Kelly steps on the gas. You can see it's hitting that middle section. He's got to, you know, wait, be patient. Now the wave slows down and he's going to get back to work there. One more long section for Kelly. Different looking board there. Looks like a flat entry there. Good planing speed there. Beautiful little rail hack from Kelly. And finish it off with a floater, but couldn't hang on, Ronnie. So that's going to affect the score. 5.83 there from Kelly, but again, it'll settle the nerves.
Here in 24th spot. So he's another surfer that is probably feeling the pressure to get a big result up. But here goes Filipe. Just gets so much speed to start this ride out and just whips his board through one of those clean rail turns. And again, accelerates. Bit of a cover up there, not too deep. But he is moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour as he starts to stall now and slow up to keep good pace through this tube. Clean exit. And he is feeling it.
Very well executed surfing there from Filipe. You know, a cracking whip of a carve. That's his MO. You know, he's known for being one of the quickest surfers on tour.
Well, have a look at this. This is Matt Banting with a great opportunity here. A beautiful wall stretching out in front. He drives into this first section, transitions down the line. Not too much on it. He takes a fall. Kelly Slater now. Let's see what he can do. Nice high line trim to set up this section. Committing his board through that move, drawing it right out and setting up the tube on the inside. Still running, and this wave is reeling off. One of the cleanest barrels we've seen all day. Kelly's still in there somewhere. He'll find the exit. Oh, he doesn't. It actually ran too far down the line. At one point, it looked like he could have easily gotten out of that ride, but I think he really wanted to add some extra points down the line.
Pretty aggressive. You know, Kelly's so confident with his skills in the barrel. He figured, you know what, I'm going to hang out in here and stay in this barrel until it lets me out. But once it gets to the impossibles, it kind of switches gears into that second half of the wave down there called the point. It'll get away from you. But this was a dream wave. Nice big set wave, kind of slow pace. It allowed him to do a nice carve. And that's where the wave gutted out right here. Hollow section. Sees that second portion of the barrel, tucks right back in. And now the wave hits that impossible section right where it kind of closes out. There's a kink there in the reef. There's also a little channel through the rocks where guys go in. And it 99% of the time closes out there. So unfortunately for Kelly, he couldn't come out of that barrel. There's that cracking whip of a carve. And this is that wave that was so well put together by Filipe. Nice carve, another one right there. And a pretty nice barrel for how small this wave is. The judges will like that because he got pretty deep in there. So it was a technical effort from Filipe. Scores have not dropped yet for him, but so much speed, and that's what makes that maneuver aggressive. You know, he's not just kind of cruising through carbs out here. There's a lot of different ways to go through a slicing gouge here at J-Bay, and you know, there's two ways to make it scoreable. One being classic power, like a Geordie, and the other is with the aggressive line and speed, and that's exactly what he got done there.
Definitely what Filipe lacks in that power, he makes up for in speed. So he doesn't really lose anything from the judges. He still throws plenty of water, but really cuts through the wall of these waves beautifully. And he's going to move into the lead. Just how fast this wave is, because Kelly was flying down the line, but couldn't stay with that rider and got lost inside the pit. Here we go, Matt Banting taking off. It's a pretty average looking ride at the moment. It looks like it's going to shut down. He's going to kick out. 20 minutes to go. Where's he at form-wise, do you think, as far as the last couple of years go?
Well, form-wise, I think Kelly he's right on top of it. I don't think he's lost a whole lot, even though he's 44 years old. You know, a lot of times once you hit your late 30s, you can see the difference in guys getting a little slower, a little older, you know, not as fast, but not for Kelly. Somehow he's just been able to avoid aging. That being said, he's let everyone catch up. You know, he used to just dominate the tour, and it's not the case anymore, obviously. And also Kelly's very busy, you know, so he shows up to events kind of, you know, last maybe 12 hours to spare with a new batch of boards. So, you know, that's been showing in his results. You know, his worst year ever, worst start ever. But when he free surfs, as we see Kelly pulling into that closeout right there, he's been showing up. He's been right there with the best.
Well, just over 18 minutes to go, and Filipe's up once again. But this one's going to stretch out and get away from him. And picking it off down the line is Matt Banting. Committed turn there as he drives down the line, looking for some cover. Punches through that curtain as it clamps up. But he needs to finish strong to make a good number out of this ride. He gets another cover up, but that thing is just reeling off way too fast through impossibles. Kelly Slater chasing him down the line. Just a tricky float there from Kelly, but he does get around it, and he's going to pull through the back of this one. Definitely feels like Kelly has reconnected with his equipment. It's looking sharp. Earlier, him getting locked in that ride for a 5. The maneuvers and just the way that board was sitting on the water.
80s and 90s, Keone Downing in Hawaii, a good buddy of Kelly's, and he's had a few surfs with him this winter in Hawaii and been working on this new design here. 510, big single concave through that entry, and you can see that is a little flatter, which is creating a lot of glide. No resistance there, so a different type of board compared to say that Greg Weber design he was riding in Fiji with a ton of rocker and curve. This one, Kelly looking to kind of clean up those long lines that you draw here at J-Bay. Matt Banting, nice little layback snap there. A slow start for him, just looking for a score to put on the board. But again, this low tide right now and the southwest swell direction, the waves are really straight. You have to find that wave that cooperates for you. And there's another one shutting down there for Matty.
To his wave pool. So he's had a bit of training on long right-handers in 2016, as we see. Filipe up once again. Really has to step on the gas here to find the open face. He does that, but isn't getting many opportunities to really commit that board to some big turns.
That's pretty funny. You know, I had a chance to surf.
To get Kelly's interest once again and firing him up for some big performances, but the last couple of years Kelly hasn't been in that world title conversation as much, and I think he really misses just those individual rivals. But here we go, this is Matt Banting picking off a clean insider with a pretty decent pace, finding a barrel. Doesn't look like he's going to get out of this one though.
And finish any maneuvers, so with 11 and a half minutes left, Matty's going to be probably still looking for a couple of scores in his mind. Although Filipe's winning his heat with a pretty weak backup score right now. Watch this hack right here, though. Pretty clean little snap there from Matt. Another little tail click. That one even better. That was a sweet snap there, how he released the fins. He did very well to get those moves in on such a fast wave.
As we see what unfolded during the break, Matt Banting picking off this one.
Well, Matty, this is wide on the point here, so all the way on the inside. And again, nice snap for Matty before he pulled into that. As you said before, really nice vision for Matt, but it's not going to be a score. So he couldn't come out of that thing. And also during the break, Kelly Slater finding a really solid backup score here. Nice snap, and now he starts hounding the barrel. Wisely goes around this section, and it's going to back off again. So he sees that thing bottom out just a little bit, tucks right back in. But you know he wants to finish it off with something, you know, above the lip. So he chooses to be really aggressive there, but again, this wind is so strong today, it's tough to keep that board stuck to your feet.
He almost had that. Just on 2.5 minutes to go. Filipe's just hanging on to this lead. It's been a tricky heat for finishing rides off, but Slater, he wanted to go all out. Felt like he got caught between an alley-oop and a rotation and didn't quite execute either. 2 minutes to go now.
Spooky maneuver right now with all this wind. It's easy to, you know, have that board kind of flip under your feet, and who knows what can happen. It's, you know, right there he was trying to anticipate the wind to get keep the board under his feet, and instead it flipped the other way, and then he went to just defense mode, was trying to back that board away from him. And again, that's so sketchy because you have a lot of momentum. It's very easy to land on your fins and kind of get knifed.
Well, this could make life very difficult for Kelly and Banting as Filipe looks to drop a 3.5 to increase his lead. Has plenty of speed. Let's see what he does with it. He's going to whip through a cut down, tuck into a barrel, not super deep, but he will finish this wave off with a nice little floating re-entry on the inside.
Well, that's going to make it really tough for Kelly and Matt to get back in this heat. Right now you see they just need minor scores, but that's going to go up.
We have lines approaching. Matt Banting's already made a decision to commit to this ride. And prior to Filipe's wave, he was already chasing a 5.81, so he's going to have some work to do because that requirement's going to be a little larger. And he is bashing away, but keeping that down the line flow. We'll want more out of this. And throws a nice little layback tail slide, but can't complete the move. Behind him, Kelly Slater in the barrel. He'll find the exit and stalls for a little bit more. Still rolling through this one. And just gets his board on top of the roof for a nice float to finish. Was having a tough run at those inside tubes, but maintained enough speed to find the opening on that occasion, Ross.
Wow, we got a lot of homework here. Judges are going to have to still drop a score for Filipe, so they're going to take a long look at that wave and where it falls in terms of a score. And then Kelly, we just saw the second half of his ride. So did he get a maneuver or two before that barrel?
Pretty solid from the goat.
The goats. Here we go. Here's the top of the wave run. And a smooth carve. So right away, pretty solid statement at a much bigger wave than Filipe, which is good for Kelly. Solid barrel, and again, it gets kind of square right here, which is cool. That makes that barrel worth more points. And got the finish with a little float, so it's going to be a tight finish here.
I really liked it. I just loved the fact that that wave was just a little bit more hollow than some of the smaller tube rides that we'd seen throughout this heat. But here's the replay of Matt Banting's ride. It's had a good pace to it, this smaller wave.
Yeah, it really did. And I like those little snaps that Matt's pulling off. Just getting a tiny bit of a release in a tail. It's making those kind of speed check turns scoreable. You know, instead of just going through the motions, he's getting a little flare on it. But obviously he did not finish that wave, Ronnie. So he's going to be searching for a victory in round 2, no doubt. And let's see how big Filipe went. Right now he's trying to get rid of a 3.5. Just a little snap. Here's the good news for Kelly. It's for sure Kelly's wave is better than this one right here, but what will Kelly need once the score drops for Filipe? That's what all is going to come down to.
Well, Filipe got himself a 4.5, so Slater, he's in second spot. He needs a 6.18.
It was definitely clutch. For him to get his board right up on that lip and finish that floater off, it was very tough to hang on.
A 6.43, Slater in the dying stages of his first round heat moves ahead of Filipe Toledo, and he is moving through to round 3, and that's going to feel good. Kelly Slater, the greatest of all time, is through to round 3, sending another one of the top seeds to round 2, getting the jump on Filipe Toledo and Matt Banting.